It's time again this week that we get to visit with our Nebraska Extension agricultural climatologist, Al Dutcher. And Al, a little bit of same song, different story as we saw a very nice earlier part of the week, but headed into Easter weekend, not shaping up to be quite so nice.
Well, Shaylee, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's already been advertised, and it's been well advertised, that we're going to see a major storm system, and it's not going to be a pretty Easter, especially in the northwestern half of the state. This is a very powerful system that we have that's going to be entering the country, and in these next couple of days will probably be the best of the next 10-day period in terms of temperature, simply because this warm air, warm, dry air that's moved in will be replaced by a very aggressive troughing pattern starting to move across the northern United States. And in the same sequence, we have a small area of low pressure moving over the southwestern desert from that low pressure that come into California that's going to merge with this upper air trough as we go through the day tomorrow. And we'll start to see that cold air starting to arrive in northwest Nebraska by the afternoon, generating some precipitation with a very powerful low starting to develop in the Texas Panhandle. That's going to pump a lot of moisture up into our region, and we should see that precipitation Saturday night breaking out across the northern Panhandle and filling in across the state as we go through Sunday as that trough deepens and everything merges just to the east of Nebraska to create a very powerful surface low in northern Arkansas, and that will move up into the Great Lakes region. That's going to pull a lot of moisture on the backside, and we'll see accumulating snowfall and very powerful winds across the state, probably near blizzard conditions in the northwest, and accumulations maybe up above 6 inches in the northwest corner. That'll quickly be replaced by high pressure building in the region on Monday, very cold temperatures, and that cold will drop all the way down to the Texas Panhandle. For 2 consecutive nights, we could see freezing temperatures as far south as southern Kansas, and then when the trough itself and the upper atmosphere will broaden out, and that will allow cool conditions to basically stay in place across much of the areas east of the Rocky Mountains for the better part of this next week. It does show a little bit of a wave moving through our region on Tuesday, generating maybe some light snow, but no significant accumulations. By Wednesday, that trough starts to weaken somewhat and starts to lift out of the northwest. So we will see high pressure that will be firmly in control over the northern plains start to moderate and bring back a little bit warmer temperatures from the south. We might start to get closer to normal on Thursday as the high pressure system from the west starts to build in and the trough to the east lifts out. No active weather really expected during that period, but what we were watching for is as that ridge starts to move toward the east, there might be another piece of energy moving on the backside of that upper air trough as we get into Friday that will come across western Nebraska and generate some light precipitation. And then there's a question as we go into next weekend whether or not that front will hang up and basically give us renewed chances of precipitation, or whether that whole ridging pattern from the west will build in. It does look like a little bit warmer temperatures coming in late next week into the following week, but the consideration is, will the northern stream become more active? And it's something that I really anticipate will happen as we go through the month of April. Unfortunately, it's going to bring in some cold air. This looks like a very nasty week in terms of temperatures, but there is hope on the horizon as we get to the third full week of the month, and hopefully the temperature will rebound accordingly.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about quickly here, Al. I know you guys keep a pretty close eye on the snowpack. Are there concerns there?
This storm system is really going to be potent for the upper plains region. And in fact, if you look in the January through March period for the upper Midwest, particularly the Dakotas, they've been in a very dry pattern. So it looks like this is coming to an end. A lot of the moisture that was lifted off of the snowpack is gone, but now we're going to renew it with more moisture. This is going to be a very, very sorry situation, unfortunately, for the upper Midwest. Once the snow itself melts, we're going to be looking at significant issues in terms of too wet of soil conditions, and that's going to extend out, unfortunately, for the next couple of weeks.
Nebraska Extension agricultural climatologist Al Dutcher, you're listening to the Rural Radio Network.